May our Father, Messiah, and the Holy Spirit be with us. So this video will be titled, Why Should We Read the Old Testament? Why, you ask? Well, you should love to read our Father's Mikra Kodesh, his holy scriptures, his all the words of his life. You should just, honestly, this shouldn't even be a question. But, sadly, there's many false things going on around here. Satan, he's a wrong line, devouring souls, seeking souls to devour. Like, even when I first was getting into this, I remember they told me to just go to the New Testament and I didn't hear much about the Old Testament, and it's just important to understand the depths of our Father so you can understand the depths of his Son and you can understand the depths of the adversary, the devil. So we'll even start off in the New Testament explaining why we need to read the Old Testament and to go back and read things out of the Old Testament. That's just very important that you don't want to miss over. So, okay. So, of course, right in the beginning, the New Testament, the book of the genealogy of Yeshua, Messiah, son of David, son of Abraham. So first you want to understand who David and Abraham are. That is very, very important. And then it's cool learning about David and Goliath. And then there's way more things. To me, the thing that I love about David is just the things that was happening with Saul, even how he, because they love talking about run down and all this tough stuff nowadays. All this, they think they're so tough or whatever. Yeah, they were literally running down on giants. Like, you want to talk about running down, they were running down for real, really running down for real. And he was running down since a young bull. He got delivered from a lion and a bear, and then said, "This uncircumcised Philistine, what?" Then that's Saul trying to kill him. He spared this man life twice. Man, this thorough guy, son of Abraham. Abraham is by the faith of Abraham. He put his son on the altar. He was getting ready, do his thing with him. Then the messenger, Father, calmed him down. No, then Abraham, this is why we here. He's gonna expand his seed as the stars of the sea. Like, it's beautiful, bro. Like, bro, like, it's just, even just off of that, I'm just like, why would you even question that? Why would you not want to go read about them? Like, why? Ask yourself why. Why would you not want to read about them? Ask our Father, hey, Father, should I read about? Yes, he's going to tell you yes before you even finish that sentence, because he knows your heart. Yeah. Abraham brought forth Yitzchak. You don't want to learn about Yitzchak? And Yitzchak brought forth Jacob. You don't want to learn about Yisrael? And Jacob brought forth Yehuda and his brothers. And Yehuda brought forth Peretz and Zerai by Tamar. And Peretz brought forth Hetzron. And Hetzron brought forth Ram. And Ram brought forth Aminadab. And Aminadab brought forth Nahshon. And Nahshon brought forth Salmon. And Salmon brought forth Boaz by Rahab. And Boaz brought forth Obed by Ruth. You don't want to learn about Ruth? Ruth is thorough. Don't talk about thorough. She's thorough. And Obed brought forth Yeshai. And Yeshai brought forth David, the sovereign. And David, the sovereign, brought forth Shalomo. But Uriah's wife, you don't want to learn about Shalomo? Sai said, mission he's on greater than Shalomo. You don't want to learn about him? You don't want to read Yonah? Come on, man. And Shalomo brought forth Rahabaam. And Rahabaam brought forth Abiah. And Abiah brought forth Asa. And Asa brought forth Yehoshaphat. And Yehoshaphat brought forth Yoram. And Yoram brought forth Uzziah. And Uzziah brought forth Yatham. And Yatham brought forth Ahaz. And Ahaz brought forth Hezekiah. And Hezekiah brought forth Menasheshe. And Menasheshe brought forth Aman. You don't want to read about them? The stories are so cool. The scriptures are beautiful. And Aman brought forth Yoshayahu, and Yoshayahu brought forth Yekanya and his brothers at the time of the exile to Babel. And after the exile to Babel, Yekanya brought forth Shealtiel, and Shealtiel brought forth Zerubbabel, and Zerubbabel brought forth Abihud, and Abihud brought forth Abner, and Abner brought forth Eliakim, and Eliakim brought forth Azor, and Azor brought forth Tazadok, and Tazadok brought forth Akim, and Akim brought forth Eliahud, and Eliahud brought forth Eleazar, and Eleazar brought forth Matan, and Matan brought forth Jacob, and Jacob brought forth Joseph, the husband of Miriam, of whom was born Yahushua, who was called Messiah. So all the generations from Abraham to David were 14 generations, and from David until the exile to Babel were 14 generations, and from the exile to Babel until the Messiah were 14 generations. The birth of Messiah, the birth of Yahushua Messiah was as follows. Yeah, that's just beautiful. So then we take it here to how the Messiah kept the laws, kept the 10 Commandments that you should already have known about before you even saw these in here. But hold on, let me go back just one more because hold on. Okay. Okay, we'll start from here. Matthew 5:17. Do not think that I came to destroy the Torah or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to complete. So he says right here, do not think. So you do not think, because you're thinking in your own mind, thinking your own things in your own head, and not going off of what is said. Do not think, if you think that you shouldn't read the Old Testament, do not think that I came to destroy. I, as in the Messiah himself. So do not think that I, the Messiah, do not think that Messiah came to destroy the Torah or the prophets. Messiah did not come to destroy, but to complete. He said, I did not come to destroy, but to complete. For truly Messiah, say to you, till the heaven and the earth pass away, one yod or one tittle shall by no means pass from the Torah till all be done. Yeah, the Torah, the Tanakh, got the book of the prophets. Yeah, then all the other books, bro. Like, it's just the Torah. Like, yeah. It literally says, for truly I say to you, till the heaven and the earth pass away, one yod or one tittle shall by no means pass from the Torah till all be done. Come on. Whoever then breaks one of the least of these commands. So, listen, whoever then breaks one of the least of these commands and teaches men so shall be called least in the reign of the heavens. But whoever does and teaches them, he shall be called great in the reign of the heavens. You want to be called great or least? Do not teach men not to read the Old Testament. These are the commands. These are the laws. Follow the laws. All you have to do is literally, listen, brothers and sisters, stop making this stuff harder than what it is. The battle is already hard. Stop making it harder. If you read the Old Testament, you won't fall to many of the sins. That's where many of the sins, it's just the instructions. It can just help you out so much. It's like, we literally have all the words of this life, and you're just like, no, I'm not going to read that. If the Old Testament wasn't meant to be read, why is it even attached to this? Why is it even still here? Understand how our Father works. Understand his beauty. Understand his grace. Understand his mercy. And ask yourself, what are you doing that you can't take time to read just one passage a day out of the scriptures in the Old Testament? You can do these things, brother and sister. Stop acting like you're too busy, man. And that stuff annoys me. Even with just getting healthy, like, you people act like this stuff just doesn't matter. Like we're not the dwelling places of Elohim. Like, our bodies aren't brought with a purchase price, like, do the works of our Father, the Messiah did the works of our Father in heaven. Come on, man. Sister, get it together. We got to get it together. The battle is already hard, brothers and sisters. We need to make it easier. Like, bro. He says, whoever then breaks one of these least of these commands and teaches men so shall be called least in the reign of the heavens. But whoever does and teaches them, he shall be called great in the reign of the heavens. For I say to you that unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall by no means enter into the reign of the heavens. So he just said something right here. For I say to you that unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall by no means enter into the reigns of the heavens. So what does that mean? Okay, we got to work harder than the Pharisees and the scribes, who are working hard. They work hard, for real. Got people, even now these days, these modern day Pharisees and scribes, they only know the New Testament, and they try to lie and act like they know the Old. Nah. And we got to show ourselves well equipped, for real. Yeah, and even if they do know the Old, okay, we need to learn it too. They fast, we need to fast too. It speaks of a scribe in here, I believe, who fasts twice a week. So what that mean you need to do? Yeah, let's get it. Turn up, for real. Yeah, and it's easier said than done. This stuff is hard. Like, really hard, for real. When I first started fasting, it was hard. Even every time I fast now, it's not the easiest thing ever. But you got to understand what you're doing this for, brother and sis. You got to understand that this is A, for everlasting life. B, also for yourself, because at the end of the day, if you're willing to see the times at the end, it's going to be scarcity food. It's literally a scarcity of food now. The government isn't just going out and outwardly telling you this thing yet because they're hoarding the food away and they want to make sure that they're good before they tell us that what's going on. There's already a scarcity of food, and you can already see it when you try to order from some places and go into some grocery stores. So understand that fasting is just something that you need to do so that when the later times come, you're not all, I never did it, and I never, nah, because that's going to make some, sadly, blaspheme our Father more. Like, why would he make it so there's no food or whatever when he already told you what to do? He already told you what to do. He already told you what it is, for real, for real. It's like you in a relationship and they tell you what it is, but you try to act like they didn't tell you. Nah, they've been told you what it was. He already told you what it was, for real, for real. He said, dog, you have to work harder than the Pharisees and scribes. It's already one that's fasting twice a week. Brothers and sisters, what do you think that means, bro? We have to, bro, like, yes, I'm talking to my wife about this too. You have to be the realest ever. Okay, it's a challenge. You should, because y'all, like, many want to be the realest in the world. Like, you want to be so perfect for the world, like how the Pharisees and scribes were so outwardly perfect. Like, you're going so hard to be so glittered up, and I got my makeup, and, you know, I got jewelry or whatever, and I'm looking so cool, and I got to pop out with my, you know, with the best products and all of that stuff. You know, you want to look so cool and so perfect outwardly, but you don't want to work on your inward. Nah, work on your inward. That's what matters, for real, for real. That's what's going to get you into the reigns of the heavens. That's what's going to get you into the kingdom of heaven. That's what it's all about. And then he goes into explain these things. You heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not murder, and whoever murders shall be liable to judgment. Okay. But I say to you that whoever is wroth with his brother without a cause shall be liable to judgment. And whoever says to his brother, Rakah, shall be liable to the Sanhedrin. Whatever says, you fool, shall be liable to the fire of Gehenna. If then, and Father, Messiah, Holy Spirit, please forgive me for saying, you fool, you know. Amen. Shall be liable to fire of Gehenna. If then bring your gift to the slaughter place, and there, well, this for coming at it, brothers and sisters, in the wrong way. So, because there are sadly some fools out here, but you know, just for, because we're supposed to come correct to our brothers and sisters, which we just talked about in one of the previous videos. Is how it's a perfect way to talk. So may our Father, Son, Holy Spirit be with us. Amen. Yeah. And then you bring your gift to the slaughter place, and there remember that your brother holds whatever against you. Leave your gift there before the slaughter place and go. First make peace with your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Be well-minded with your opponent promptly while you are on the way with him, lest your opponent deliver you to the judge, and the judge to the officer, and you be thrown into prison. This says be well-minded with your opponent. Truly I say to you, you shall by no means get out of there till you have paid the last quadrans. You heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that everyone looking at a woman to lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. And if your right eye causes you to stumble, pluck it out and throw it away from you. For it is better for you that one of your members perish than for your entire body to be thrown into Gehenna. And if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away from you. For it is better for you that one of your members perish than for your entire body to be thrown into Gehenna. And it has been said, whoever puts away his wife, let him give her a certificate of divorce. But I say to you that whoever puts away his wife, except for the matter of whoring, makes her commit adultery. And whoever marries a woman who has been put away commits adultery. Again, you heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform your oaths to our Father in heaven. But I say to you, do not swear vainly at all, neither by the heaven, because it is Elohim's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, nor by your rich land, for it is the city of the great sovereign, nor swear by your head, because you are not able to make one hair white or black. But let your word yes be yes, and your no be no. And what goes beyond these is from the wicked one. You heard that it was said an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. Yeah, this is all in the beginning. This is Shema 21:24. But I say to you, do not resist the wicked, but whoever slaps you on your right cheek, turn the other to him also. And he who hopes to see you and take away your garment and take away your inner garment, let him have your outer garment as well. And whoever compels you to go one mile, go with him too. Give to him who asks of you, and from him who hopes to borrow from you, do not turn away. You heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those cursing you, do good to those hating you, and pray for those insulting you and persecuting you, so that you become sons of your Father in the heavens, because he makes his sun rise on the wicked and on the good, and sends rain on the righteous and on the unrighteous. For if you love those loving you, what reward have you? Are the tax collectors not doing the same too? And if you greet your brothers only, what do you do more than others? Are the tax collectors not doing so too? Therefore, be perfect as your Father is in the heavens. Okay, so we got to understand what's being said right here. This is literally out of the Messiah's own mouth, perfecting the law, doing what he just said he was going to do, and he fulfilled it all the way until the end. So I understand these things. Okay, so next thing I wanted to read was Oh, right here. So Matthew 8 and just 4. Because it says, and Yahushua said to him after he healed the, I'll just read from the beginning, Matthew 8, 1 to 4. And when he came down from the mountain, large crowds followed him, and see, a leper came and bowed before him, saying, Master, if you desire, you are able to make me clean. And stretching out his hand, Yahushua touched him, saying, I desire it, be cleansed. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. And Yahushua said to him, See, mention it to no one, but go your way. Show yourself to the priest and offer the gift that Moshe commanded as a witness to them. So he said, offer the gift that Moshe commanded as a witness to them, that Moses commanded. So just, I don't even see you do these things. Okay, so now we're going to take it back to just reading the Ten Commandments. We touched on that with so Shemot 20, 2 through 17. So Shemot, Exodus 2 through 17. The law. I am my Father in heaven, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the house of slavery. You have no other mighty ones against my face. You do not make for yourself the carved image or any likeness of that which is in the heavens above, or which is in the earth beneath, or which is in the waters under the earth. You do not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, our Father in heaven, your Elohim, am a jealous El, visiting the crookedness of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing loving commitment to thousands to those who love me and guard my commands. You do not bring the name of our Father in heaven, your Elohim, to naught, for our Father in heaven does not leave the one unpunished who brings his name to naught. Remember the Sabbath day to set it apart. 6 days you labor and shall do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of our Father in heaven, your Elohim. You do not do any work, you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your male servant, nor your female servant, nor your cattle, nor your sojourner who is within your gates. For in 6 days our Father in heaven made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Therefore our Father in heaven blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart. Respect your Av and your Em. Respect your Av. Your Av is your father and your mother. Respect your father and your mother, so that your days are prolonged upon the soil which our Father in heaven, your Elohim, has given you. You do not murder, you do not commit adultery, you do not steal, you do not bear a shikar against your neighbor, you do not bear false witness against your neighbor, you do not covet your neighbor's house, you do not covet your neighbor's isha, you do not covet, that's your wife, you do not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male eved, his male servant, nor his female eved, nor his ox, nor his donkey, or whatever belongs to your neighbor. Okay, so we have the laws right here. Really cool, right? And then you can read about Moses, hear about what happened to Moses. In Genesis. Genesis has so much. This is literally the Bereshith. This is literally the beginning. Why would you not want to read about the beginning of this reality, the truth? All you're doing is just literally not showing yourself well equipped before our Father in heaven, which is really bad. You don't want to go, you really don't want to go to where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth. That's not where you want to go, brothers and sisters. That is not where you want to go. Okay, so now we're going to go to the book of Ruth. I just love even flipping through these pages, and I'm just like, life. Okay, cool. Yep, and then Father willing, we're just going to read through the whole book of Ruth. And it came to be in the days when the rulers ruled that there was a scarcity of food in the land. And a man from Bethlehem, Yehuda, went to sojourn in the fields of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife was Naomi, and the names of his 2 sons were Mahalan and Kilon, and Kilyan. If Ephrates of Bethlehem, Judah, and they went to the fields of Moab and came to be there. And Elimelech, husband of Naomi, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. And they took wives of the woman of Moab. The name of the one was Orpha, and the name of the other Ruth. And they dwelt there about 10 years. And Mahalan and Kilyan was also died, both of them. So the woman was bereaved of her 2 sons and of her husband. So she lost her 2 sons and her husband. And she rose up with her daughters-in-law and returned from the fields of Moab, for she had heard in the fields of Moab that our Father in heaven had visited his people in giving them bread. Amen. And she left the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law added, Amen. And she left the place where she was. Well, I just said, Amen. And she left the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the way to return to the land of Yehudah. And Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, Go return, each to her mother's house. Our Father in heaven show love and commitment to you, as you have shown to the dead and to me. Our Father in heaven grant that you find rest, each in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voices and wept. And they said to her, No, we shall go back with you to your people. But Naomi said, Go back, my daughters. Well, why go with me? Have I still sons in my womb that they should become your husbands? Go back, my daughters, go your way, for I am too old to have a husband. If I should say I have expectancy, even if I should have a husband tonight and should also bear sons, would you wait for them till they were grown? Would you shut yourselves up, not to have a husband? No, my daughters, for it is much more bitter for me than for you, because the hand of our Father in heaven has gone out against me. And they lifted up their voices and wept again. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her. And she said, Look, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her mighty ones. Go back, follow your sister-in-law. But Ruth said, Do not urge me to leave you or to go back from she's thorough. But Ruth said, Do not urge me to leave you or to go back from following after you. For wherever you go, I go, and wherever you stop over, I stop over. Your people is my people, and your Elohim is my Elohim. That's 30. Where you die, I die, and there I shall be buried. Our Father in heaven do so to me, and more also, for death itself parts you and me. And when she saw that she was strengthening herself to go with her, she ceased to speak to her. And both of them went until they came to Bethlehem. And it came to be, when they had come to Bethlehem, that all the city was moved because of them. And they said, Is this Naomi? And she said to them, Do not call me Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. I went out filled, and our Father in heaven has brought me back empty. Why do you call me Naomi, since our Father in heaven has witnessed against me, and the Almighty has done evil to me? Thus Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, who returned from the fields of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem at the beginning of barley harvest. And Naomi had a relative on her husband's side, a man of great wealth, of the clan of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabitess said to Naomi, Please let me go to the field and glean heads of grain after him, in whose eyes I find favor. So she said to her, Go, my daughter. And she left, and went and gleaned in the field after the reapers. As it turned out, she came to the part of the field belonging to Boaz, the near relative of Elimelech. And see, Boaz had come from Bethlehem, and said to the reapers, Our Father in heaven be with you. And they answered him, Our Father in heaven bless you. And Boaz said to his servant who was appointed over the reapers, Whose young woman is this? So the servant who was appointed over the reapers answered and said, It is a young Moabite woman who came back with Naomi from the fields of Moab. And she said, Please let me glean and gather among the sheaves behind the reapers. She came and has remained from morning until now. She sat a little in the house, and Boaz said to Ruth, You have heard, have you not, my daughter? Do not go to glean in another field, nor go from here, but stay close to my young woman. Let your eyes be on the field which they reap, and you shall go after them. Have I not commanded the young men not to touch you? And when you are thirsty, go to the vessels and drink from what the young men have drawn. And she fell on her face, bowed down to the ground, and said to him, Why have I found favor in your eyes, that you should take notice of me, seeing I am a foreigner? And Boaz answered and said to her, I have been told all that you have done for your mother-in-law since the death of your husband, and how you have left your father and your mother and the land of your birth, and have come to a people whom you did not know before, and have come to a people whom you did not know before. Our Father in heaven repay your work, and your reward is complete from our Father in heaven, Elohim Israel, under whose wings you have come to seek refuge. And she said, Let me find favor in your eyes, my master, because you have comforted me, and have spoken to the heart of your female servant, though I am not like one of your female servants. And Boaz said to her, Come here at mealtime, then you shall eat of the bread, and dip your piece of bread in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and he passed roasted grain to her, and she ate and was satisfied and had left over. And she rose up to glean, and Boaz commanded his young men, saying, Let her glean even among the sheaves, and do not embarrass her. Rather draw out from the bundles for her. Rather draw out from the bundles. Rather draw out from the bundles for her, and leave it for her to glean, and do not restrain her. And she gleaned in the field until evening, and beat out that which she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. And she took it up, and went into the city. And her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned, and she brought out and gave to her husband. And she brought out and gave to her what she had left over after she was satisfied. Then her mother-in-law asked her, Where have you gleaned? Where have you gleaned today? And where did you work? Blessed be the one who took notice of you. And she told her mother-in-law whom she had worked, and said, The name of the man I worked today with is Boaz. And Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, Blessed be he of our father in heaven, who has not forsaken his loving commitment to the living and the dead. And Naomi said to her, The man is a relative of ours, one of our redeemers. And Ruth the Moabitess said, He also said to me, Stay close. He also said to me, Stay close to my young people until they have completed all my harvest. And Naomi said to Ruth her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that you go out with his young woman, and that they do not meet you in any other field. And she stayed close by the young woman of Boaz to glean, to the completion of barley harvest and wheat harvest. But she dwelt with her mother-in-law. And you gotta also know that they was working, gleaning. They was out there in the field. And Naomi her mother-in-law said to her, My daughter, should I not seek rest for you, so that it is well with you? And now is not Boaz, with whose young woman you have been, our relatives? See, he is winnowing barley tonight at the threshing floor. And you shall bathe and anoint yourself, and put your garments on, and go down to the threshing floor. Do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. And it shall be when he lies down that you shall notice the place where he lies, and shall go in and uncover his feet, and lie down, and let him make known to you what you should do. And she said to her, All that you say to me I do. And she went down to the threshing floor, and did according to all that her mother-in-law commanded her. And Boaz ate and drank, and his heart was glad. And he went to lie down at the end of the heap of grain. And she came softly and uncovered his feet, and lay down. And it came to be at midnight that the man was startled, and turned himself, and saw a woman lying at his feet. And he said, Who are you? And she answered, I am Ruth, your female servant. Now you shall spread the corner of your garment over your female servant, for you are a redeemer. And he said, Blessed are you of our Father in heaven, my daughter, for you have shown more love and commitment at the end than at the beginning, nor to not to go after young men, whether poor or rich. That's thorough. And now, my daughter, do not fear. All that you say I do for you, for all the people of my town know that you are a capable woman. And now it is true that I am your redeemer. However, there is a redeemer nearer than I. Stop over tonight. And in the morning it shall be that if he does redeem you, good, let him redeem. But if he is not pleased to redeem you, then I shall redeem you as our Father in heaven lives. Lie down until morning. And she lay at his feet until morning, and she arose before one could recognize another. And he said, Let it not be known that the woman came to the threshing floor. And he said, Bring the shawl that is on you, and hold it. And so she held it, and he measured 6 measures of barley, and laid it on her. And she went into the city. And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, Is that you, my daughter? And she explained to her all that the man had done for her. And she said, He gave me these 6 measures of barley, for he said to me, Do not go empty-handed to your mother-in-law. And she said, Wait, my daughter, until you know how the matter falls, for the man is not going to rest until he has completed the matter this day. And Boaz went up to the gate and sat down there. And see, the Redeemer of whom Boaz had spoken came by. And Boaz said, Turn aside, so and so, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, Sit down here. So they sat down. He then said to the Redeemer, Naomi, who has come back from the fields of Moab, who has come back from the fields of Moab, sold the piece of land which belonged to our brother Elimelech. And I thought that I should disclose it to you, saying, Buy it back in the presence of the inhabitants and the elders of my people. If you do redeem it, redeem it. But if you do not redeem it, inform me, so that I know. For there is no one but you to redeem it, and I am next after you. And he said, I redeem it. And Boaz said, On the day you buy the field from the hand of Naomi, you shall also require Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of the dead, to raise up the name of the dead on his inheritance. And the Redeemer said, I am not able to redeem for myself, lest I ruin my own inheritance. Redeem my right of redemption for yourself. for I am not able to redeem it. And this was formerly done in Yisrael concerning redeeming and exchanging, to confirm every word. One man took off his sandal and gave it to the other, and this was a witness in Yisrael. So the Redeemer said to Boaz, buy it for yourself. Then he took off his sandal, and Boaz said to the elders and to all the people, you are witnesses this day that I have brought all that was Elimelech's and all that was Kilyan's and Mahlon's from the hand of Naomi, and also Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, I have acquired as my wife, to raise up the name of the dead on his inheritance, so that the name of the dead should not be cut off from among his brothers and from the gate of his place. Your witnesses today. And all the people who were at the gate and the elders said, witnesses, our Father in heaven, make the woman who is coming to your house at Rahel and as Leah, the two who built the house of Israel, and prove your worth in Ephrathah, and proclaim the name in Bethlehem, and let your house be like the house of Peretz, whom Tamar bore to Yehudah, of the seed which our Father in heaven does give you from this young woman. And Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. And he went into her, and our Father in heaven granted her conception. You see, and it says, and our Father in heaven granted her conception. It's a blessing to have a child, and she bore a son. And the woman said to Naomi, blessed be our Father in heaven, who has not left you this day without a redeemer, and let his name be proclaimed in Israel. And he shall be to you a restorer of life and a sustainer of your old age. For your daughter-in-law, who loves you, who is better to you than 7 sons, has borne him. And Naomi took the child and laid him on her bosom, and became a nurse to him. And the woman, the neighbors, gave him a name, saying, there is a son born to Naomi. And they called his name Obed. He was the father of Yeshai, the father of David. And this is the genealogy of Peretz. Peretz brought forth Hezron, and Hezron brought forth Ram, and Ram brought forth Aminadab, and Aminadab brought forth Nahshon, and Nahshon brought forth Salmon, and Salmon brought forth Boaz, and Boaz brought forth Obed, and Obed brought forth Yeshai, and Yeshai brought forth David. Now, Father, Messiah, and Holy Spirit be with us. I pray that this video was edifying for you, brothers and sisters. It was edifying for me, myself, even just listening to, what the Holy Spirit just the Holy Spirit's work. It's just amazing, and it's wonderful, and it's motivating, and it's just a peaceful thing. Like, I love reading this book. It's just, it brings me at peace. I love it, I love it, man. I love it. Get your bodily exercise in as well, too. Get the little profit from that. It's very, very beneficial. Listen to the scriptures while you do it. You can just listen to nature, It's beautiful. I love you all, brothers and sisters. I pray you all are well. I pray you have a wonderful and beautiful day. May our Father, Messiah, and Holy Spirit be with us. I love you all. Amen.